Hello and welcome to day 35 in my craft room clear out series, and today we'll be using the Dragonfly Dreams stamp set and matching dies. I'm going to use the bumblebee stamped image and matching bumblebee die with that to create this card. So follow along and we can make a card together every day, Monday to Friday, here on YouTube. So as I've just mentioned, we're going to be using the bee image from this Dragonfly Dreams and the matching little die that goes with it. And so rather than the dragonfly, just for a change. So the colour combination I've gone for is crushed curry with crumb cake and a little bit of black. So let's get started. So I'll make the card base first. I'm going to start with a crumb cake card base. Nice neutral. So 10.5 by 14.8. And then I'll cut my mat. I think I'm going to have just a gap at the sides. So we'll have a 10 centimetre strip. And I'm going to cut that at 14.8, so it's the same height as the card still. So in half. And then my crushed curry mat. Now I have already embossed this. So I found this amazing embossing folder in my stash. So it's an extra thick embossing folder, but it's got the perfect honeycomb in it. So I cut a piece of crushed curry cardstock into 10.5 by 14.8, so a quarter of a sheet, and I've embossed that already like that. That's come out lovely. So I'm just going to trim that down now to 9.5 because this is 10, and so we'll just have a gap at the sides. Like so. And then that will go on the card base like that. And I'm going to wrap that with a bit of linen thread to start with, I think. Let me stick this to the black to start. Love this colour combination. I'm definitely in my yellow phase. Okay, and then I think linen thread will go lovely with the crumb cake. So I'm just going to wrap a couple of lengths of this around it. So tie a knot underneath all three. And then tie it off on top. I think I will tie it in a bow. I seem to be doing this sort of backwards. Normally finish with this sort of part, but I'm not doing an awful lot of stamping on this card. I'm going to keep it fairly clean and simple, which I seem to do more these days. Do you do full on or do you do more clean and simple? Let me know in the comments, won't you? And then I'm going to stick that onto the crumb cake card base. Now, I am doing stamping on this, so I'm going to get the little bee from the stamp set. Already tested it, you see. And I'm going to stamp that 3 times on a scrap of crumb cake in crumb cake. As you can see, it has got that sort of watercolor effect, so it is supposed to be different tones in the stamped image. One spare one, might put that inside, and then I'm going to use the little die to die cut these out. So I use post-it note tape to prevent any slippage in the machine. As you can see, I can reuse it 3 or 4 times, but this is quite a intricate die cut actually. So it has mashed the tape a bit now. So let's pick the best 3. They're all right. And then I'm thinking we could fold the wings up a little and add them on around this linen thread, and then pop a little sentiment across the bottom. There are lovely sentiments in here. Perhaps enjoy your special day might be nice on the crumb cake. Lovely. I think I'll just cut that end at an angle. Cut that end straight. I wonder if they would be better stamped in black onto crumb cake. Let me try that. Let's die cut that out and see what happens. Well, if I cut it out properly, that might be better. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, I think I prefer it with the black, so I'll stick with that. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use Ranger multi-medium to stick those down. They're quite thin little areas to glue. Some foam pads on the end of that, but I'm going to stick this end flat. Just use Tombow for that, I think. And of course, there has to be some sequins on here, doesn't there? What about these ones? So there's some gold and black ones in here that might be nice. These ones are called Peaceful Poppies. Okay, so I think that's enough. So I'll just stick those down again with Ranger multi-medium. And I think that'll do. And so that's today's card using Dragonfly Dreams. A little bit of 3D bumblebee going on. some sequins. So I hope you've enjoyed today's creation. Come join me every day and we can make a card together every day, Monday to Friday on YouTube, and then also on Facebook and Instagram at Cards and a Cuppa. Thanks for joining me today. Bye bye.